Hello there, and today we are looking at Wi-Fi and Ethernet as part of OCR J276 GCSE Computer Science. Let's get going. So in today's lesson we are going to be looking at Wi-Fi, including frequencies, channels and encryption, and also Ethernet as well. There we can see the learning outcomes that we're looking at for today, so you can pitch what you want to be doing. Let's get looking at Ethernet versus Wi-Fi. So Ethernet is your standard network cabled connection. It is normally fast, it's normally secure, it's normally reliable, it's controllable. With an Ethernet network purely, it's harder for people to crack into because they need to physically be connected to the network. But the main benefit personally I find from a Wi-Fi network compared to Ethernet is the movability and the portability of the network itself. So for example, I'm broadcasting this via my laptop, which I'm now currently sat on the sofa doing, which means I don't have to be sat at my desk, I don't have to be sat in an uncomfortable chair, I don't have to be sat in an uncomfortable position. So that on that side, being able to move around is really, really useful. If I'm thinking when I'm at work and I'm teaching a lesson, I'm not always going to be in the same classroom, so I want to be able to access things wherever I go. I've got my Chromebook, which again hasn't got a network connector, physical network connector applied to it, so I can then use that wherever there's a wireless network connection. Wireless connections, Wi-Fi connections are really, 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 really useful. It gives you that whole extra edge on portability. If I think about some of the PE teachers at schools, obviously PE teachers don't use classrooms that much. If they're going to be talking and teaching about high jump or how to kick a football, they're not going to be in a classroom-based environment to do the register, so they need to be able to make sure they've connected to a Wi-Fi network to be able to take the register, for example. So Wi-Fi uses channels and frequencies, and this is really, really, really important. There's two different areas we want to be looking at. We can see the numbers at the top through 1 through 14 are different Wi-Fi channels. So we've got channel 1 here, channel 6 here, channel 11 here. And these ones are highlighted because with channel 1 and channel 6, there's no crossover between them. And again, with channel 6, channel 11, there's no crossover between them. Channel 1, you can see, uses 2.4 gigahertz to just over 2.42 gigahertz. Remember, gigahertz is essentially hertz, which is cycles per second. So what we're looking at with these is if we've got all of the devices using channel 1, that means they're using this frequency area here. So if I had every single student in my school all accessing the wireless network, all using the same channel, which is using this set of frequency here, 2.4 to 2.242 gigahertz, the network's going to get massive congestion on there. They're going to be they might be intercepting each other's traffic, there might be traffic signal issues, bad times. Whereas Wi-Fi has got different channels built into it. This is good. So I can say one class use this particular channel, more devices use this channel, more devices use this channel, more devices use this channel if you're feeling brave. So by spreading out, by using channels, we can spread out the frequencies used in them. So the more channels we've got, the greater the frequency we've got. With mobile phones, you can say, okay, then I want you to particularly use channel 11, 2.462 gigahertz. So I want you to be using that. Or you can say to your phone, use channel 1, 6 or 11. Or you can say to your phone, use any channel which you think has got the least amount of data on there. Because if everyone is all cramming into channel 1 and using all this space here, using only the frequency 2.4 to just over 2.42, everyone's network data in this small space, using this small signal space, is going to be bad. Whereas if we use greater frequencies, and we've got all these frequencies to be looked at, we can share the load. We can make sure that we can share as much as possible all these different areas to be able to use. So Wi-Fi uses channels and frequencies. The channels break down the frequencies in more manageable chunks. So for example, if you were trying to change things and your phone was asking you which gigahertz frequency do you want to connect to, you'd be like, what are you on about? I don't understand. But if you said channel 1 or channel 4 or channel 6 or channel 11, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's easier to do. So it's breaking it down and making sure it's easier for the user to understand. So what I want you to do, show your knowledge of Wi-Fi, differences between Wi-Fi and Ethernet. Wi-Fi uses different channels and frequencies, and also think back to previous videos, particularly if you look back at the wired and wireless networking videos, what can impact Wi-Fi signal strength. Give the video a quick pause, we'll move on. So the other area we're looking at today is encryption. I'm not going to read out what you can see there. You can do that. You've got hopefully two eyes, unless I've now got some cyclops watching these videos. Wi-Fi needs to be encrypted. The data that's being sent across a Wi-Fi network needs to be encrypted. It needs to be secure. The whole idea of encryption is I can send a message, encrypt it, and then send it off to my other friend who's got the encryption key. They can decrypt it. They can see what's going on. If it wasn't for that, and I was going to be sending, for example, some of my farming simulator login details, and it wasn't encrypted, if someone intercepted that information, if someone intercepted that data, they'd then be able to open up the file and see what's in there. Whereas if I encrypt it, it's essentially a whole load of gobbledygook, and they won't understand what's going on because they won't have the key. So there's three different types of Wi-Fi encryption: WEP, WPA, WPA2, and you can see the differences there between different Wi-Fi encryption protocols. So last thing I want you to do, talk about different types of encryption standards, how they differ, and also talk about why all data, regardless of how important people may think it is, should be encrypted when it's being used over a wireless network. Hope you enjoyed the video. I shall see you in another lesson. See you later.